humanity's entrance into the galactic community was met with laughter and disbelief. Earth, a relatively young planet in the eyes of the galaxy, was viewed as unrefined and technologically inferior. Alien species, with their advanced space-faring capabilities and centuries of experience, regarded humans as an unworthy presence. Humanity's warships, the so-called slow vessels that had been designed in secret, became the subject of ridicule. Their speed, or lack thereof, was seen as a fundamental flaw. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations, which relied on fast, agile warships, could not fathom how such a sluggish ship could pose any real threat. Earth, having witnessed its share of hardship, understood that it had to prove itself differently. Despite their technological setbacks, humans had always thrived on innovation and resourcefulness. But the galaxy didn't see that. The Council and other species mocked humanity's attempts at military expansion, scoffing at the idea that a primitive species could ever build anything capable of matching their advanced fleets. Earth's attempts at diplomacy were often met with similar dismissiveness, and many species viewed humans with amusement, seeing them as little more than an anomaly in the larger galactic landscape. The slow warship was humanity's answer to this condescension. Despite its slow speed, the ship was a marvel of human engineering. Its durability, long-range weaponry, and advanced shields were crafted for endurance, designed to outlast opponents who underestimated its power. The decision to focus on strength and firepower rather than speed was deliberate. Humanity knew that in a galaxy where speed was often worshipped, their strategy would be unpredictable. The warship, though not built for rapid movement, was meant to endure and overwhelm through sheer firepower and tactical superiority. While the galactic powers laughed, humanity was building something that would soon prove them wrong. What the galaxy failed to understand was that Earth's focus on heavy weaponry, resilient technology, and strategic depth was exactly what would tip the balance in their favor. Unlike the nimble, advanced ships favored by the Council and other species, humanity's warship was a solid, unwavering presence that could take sustained damage and continue to fight. Earth's military leaders knew they had to conceal the warship's true potential, and so they allowed the ridicule to continue. No one suspected that the slow-moving warship, mocked for its inefficiency, was the key to humanity's breakthrough. Meanwhile, the galaxy's most powerful species, the ones who controlled vast territories and fleets, continued to overlook the human threat. They dismissed Earth's growing power as an irrelevant nuisance. Their fleets, some designed with speed and agility, some with overwhelming firepower, seemed invincible in comparison. Alien commanders laughed at the thought of a slow warship challenging their state-of-the-art technology. The mockery was widespread, and no one anticipated that humanity's ship, though slow, had the endurance and firepower to break the status quo. It was a classic case of underestimating an opponent. The galaxy had been used to centuries of dominance, and knew no true rivals that could challenge their supremacy. The aliens, secure in their overwhelming advantage, continued their pompous dismissals. But as Earth prepared its countermeasures and secretly refined its fleet, they made one crucial error, allowing humanity to operate in the shadows. As long as they believed in their superiority, they didn't consider the possibility that humans could turn their perceived weakness into an advantage. The growing tensions between Earth and the galactic powers had always been exacerbated by Earth's insistence on independence. Unlike other planets, which had become subservient to the galactic status quo, Earth resisted domination. Humanity wanted to contribute, to be an equal, but was consistently rejected. The development of the slow warship was part of humanity's strategy to prove its worth, not just as a space-faring species, but as a force to be reckoned with. The alien factions, while laughing at humanity's supposed lack of sophistication, were blinded by their own hubris. They did not understand the depths of human resilience and ingenuity. Humanity's warship was not merely an artifact of brute force. It was a symbol of their ability to learn, adapt, and survive in a universe that seemed determined to oppress them. The fact that the ship was slow and unremarkable in appearance made it all the more deadly. In their arrogance, the aliens failed to anticipate what this seemingly outdated design could accomplish. As Earth's military commanders reviewed their final plans, they remained confident, knowing that they had a significant surprise in store for the galaxy. They knew they could not match the aliens' speed, but what they lacked in agility, they would make up for in firepower, strategy, and sheer resilience. The alien laughter was the last thing humanity would hear before they proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that they were a force to be reckoned with, not because of their speed, but because of their resolve and their ability to adapt. The slow warship, dismissed by all, would soon silence the galaxy's critics in a way no one could have foreseen. In the end, the galaxy's dismissal of humanity's military capabilities was its greatest mistake. The slow warship was more than just a ship, it was humanity's answer to every slight, every insult, and every underestimation they had endured. The aliens laughed, but soon they would find that their laughter was misplaced, and humanity's quiet strength would speak volumes. The alien fleet, confident in their superior technology, had been dispatched to subdue what they thought was a weak and laughable force. Humanity, long disregarded by the galactic powers, had been underestimated not only in military might but in resolve. They saw humanity's so-called slow warship as an easy target, a relic that lacked the speed and agility to compete with modern warfare. What the alien commanders failed to realize was that humanity, aware of their limitations, had built a warship that was capable of something far beyond what the aliens could comprehend. Humanity's warship, despite its slower speed, was a marvel of resilience and firepower. Its strength lay not in rapid movement, but in its ability to endure, to take hits and keep fighting. Unlike the sleek, fast vessels of the alien fleets, which relied on speed and evasive tactics, the human ship was built for attrition. It could absorb damage, repair itself over time, and unleash devastating counterattacks that few species could survive. Its weapons were designed not for speed but for overwhelming force, strategically placed, massive payloads capable of crippling even the most advanced ships. The alien fleet, accustomed to quick strikes and swift victories, encountered something they had not prepared for. They believed that victory was guaranteed the moment they engaged. Their ships, fast and agile, launched their initial assault, confident that their superior speed would overwhelm the slow-moving human vessel. What they didn't anticipate was the human ship's ability to shrug off damage and keep up a sustained barrage. Every hit that landed only seemed to strengthen the warship's resolve, and the more the aliens attacked, the more they found themselves caught in a cycle of endless counterattacks. The first few moments of battle left the aliens confused. They could not outmaneuver the human ship, and their attempts to avoid its fire only led them into the line of sight of the powerful weapons that lay in wait. Their speed and agility, once their greatest asset, became their biggest disadvantage. As the alien commanders scrambled to reevaluate their tactics, they realized that their fast ships were now vulnerable, unable to escape the range of the human warship's guns. What the aliens had failed to consider was the human approach to warfare, one that valued endurance, precision, and overwhelming force. The human commanders knew that their warship could not win by evading attacks, so they focused on the one thing they could control: how much damage their ship could absorb and return. They had designed the warship to be a fortress, a relentless force that could continue firing even when under heavy attack. With every alien ship that fell, the warship's weapons seemed to grow more powerful, its resilience more unyielding. As the battle progressed, the alien fleet found itself on the defensive, their initial confidence quickly replaced with confusion and fear. They had underestimated not just the strength of the human warship, but the strategic brilliance behind its design. The slow warship, far from being a disadvantage, was proving to be a trap. It lured the alien ships into a fight they were ill-prepared for, one where speed didn't matter, and firepower alone was the key to victory. By the time the aliens attempted to retreat, it was already too late. Humanity's warship had already crippled half of their fleet. The remaining ships, once confident in their speed and superiority, found themselves surrounded and picked off one by one. Their own retreat was hindered by the human ship's sheer firepower and the inability to outrun its destructive reach. The galaxy's powerful species, once dismissive of humanity's capabilities, were now faced with the undeniable fact that this slow warship had turned the tide of battle. This victory was not just about military strength, it was about proving a point. Humanity had shown that underestimating them was a grave mistake, one that would not go unpunished. The aliens, who had laughed at humanity's slow ship, were now scrambling to salvage what little they had left of their fleet, their pride shattered. The human warship, slow by design, had delivered a message that the galaxy would never forget. Speed and agility were not the only indicators of strength. Sometimes, the ability to endure, adapt, and strike with overwhelming force was more than enough to defeat the most advanced fleets. This battle sent ripples across the galaxy, shaking the confidence of those who had laughed at humanity. It became a turning point, not just in military terms but in how humanity was perceived. The victory of the slow warship made one thing clear to the galaxy: humanity, though not the fastest or the most advanced in every field, had something that no one could deny: determination and the ability to fight with everything they had. The alien fleet had learned this lesson the hard way, and the rest of the galaxy was about to follow suit. From this point forward, humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer questioned. The slow warship had turned the tide not only in battle but in how the galaxy would view humanity. The days of being laughed at were over. Humanity had proven that they could not be underestimated, and they would not back down. The once mocked warship became a symbol of what humans were capable of achieving, even when faced with overwhelming odds. The slow warship, in all its glory, had just changed the rules of galactic warfare. The battle had shifted the dynamics of the galaxy. The alien fleet, which had initially laughed off humanity's slow-moving warship, now found itself reeling from a series of devastating blows. The once overconfident invaders were forced to confront the reality that their assumption of superiority was deeply flawed. They had underestimated not just the strength of the human warship but the ingenuity and resilience of humanity itself. The galaxy's powerful factions, who had long dominated the stars, were left scrambling to make sense of what had happened. In the aftermath of the confrontation, the alien species that had once mocked humanity began to reconsider their approach. The realization that humanity had outperformed them in this battle became a bitter pill to swallow. The alien commanders, who had so easily dismissed humanity's capabilities, now saw their own technology and tactics in a new light. The supposed, slow, human warship had proven to be anything but slow in terms of its impact. The alien ships, agile and fast, were vulnerable to the precision and force that humanity had delivered. The strategic use of a slower but more powerful vessel had upended the conventional wisdom about warfare in the galaxy. The defeat forced the galaxy's leadership to confront the possibility that their previous judgments about humanity were wrong. No longer could they dismiss Earth's military as insignificant or primitive. The humans had shown that their strengths lay not in their speed, but in their ability to adapt and innovate. They had taken the weaknesses that other species saw as liabilities and turned them into advantages. This unexpected victory shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. Other species began to take note, not of humanity's technological superiority in the traditional sense, but of their ability to surprise and overcome powerful foes. The victory also sent a message to the galaxy's powerhouses: humanity had arrived, and they were not the pushovers the galaxy had assumed. Alien factions that had once disregarded humanity began to rethink their stance, realizing that there might be more to Earth's growing influence than they had initially believed. The shockwaves of this victory reverberated across the stars, sparking discussions among galactic powers about the potential threat that humanity now posed. However, this victory was not without consequences. The alien fleet's defeat was only the beginning. Humanity now found itself in a delicate position, where its actions would be watched closely by all corners of the galaxy. The victory over the alien fleet had undoubtedly boosted Earth's standing, but it had also made humanity a potential target for those who saw their newfound strength as a challenge to the established order. The galactic powers, though shaken, would not be idle. Instead, they would begin to reassess their own strategies, now aware that a slow-moving warship from Earth had turned the tide of battle. Humanity, knowing the precariousness of their position, quickly began to solidify their defenses. The human warship was not just a tool of destruction, It was a symbol of what humanity could achieve when forced to fight back. The warship's victory showed that, while humanity was not the most technologically advanced species in the galaxy, it had something that others lacked: the ability to think outside the box and challenge conventional norms. This battle had not been won through brute strength alone, but through careful planning, strategic brilliance, and an unwillingness to surrender. It was a lesson the galaxy would not forget. In the weeks following the battle, humanity's reputation grew exponentially. The slow warship, once a joke, became the centerpiece of Earth's military strategy. It was a symbol of humanity's resilience and ingenuity, proving that strength could come from unexpected places. Military leaders from across the galaxy began to ask themselves what they might be missing in their own fleets. Could they learn something from humanity's unorthodox approach? Could their fast, agile ships be improved by integrating humanity's lessons? The answer, many concluded, was yes. Humanity had shown them that war wasn't just about speed or firepower, it was about adaptability, and Earth's military had mastered that art. As the galaxy began to reassess its understanding of warfare, humanity was quick to take advantage of the newfound respect they had earned. They began forging new alliances, ones based on mutual respect rather than condescension. Previously skeptical species now sought out partnerships with Earth, eager to learn from their military success. Some of these species, once rivals of humanity, even offered their own fleets to aid in defending against the potential backlash from the alien faction they had defeated. The once dismissed Earth had become a strategic player in the galactic community, and the galaxy's power structure was beginning to change. Despite these gains, humanity remained cautious. The victory was significant, but it was only one battle in what could be a much longer conflict. There was still the possibility that other alien factions, now fully aware of humanity's military capabilities, might attempt to provoke another confrontation. The human warship, while effective, was just one part of a much larger strategy. Humanity understood that to truly secure their place in the galaxy, they would need to continue to adapt, innovate, and be ready for whatever came next. As the galaxy recalibrated in the wake of the battle, humanity's victory was seen as a turning point. The once dismissed species had proven that they could stand toe-to-toe with the galaxy's most powerful forces. The slow warship had become a symbol not just of military might but of human ingenuity and determination. The victory marked the beginning of a new chapter for humanity, one where they would no longer be relegated to the sidelines of galactic affairs. It was a clear message to all: underestimating humanity came with consequences, and the galaxy would never make that mistake again. The victory of humanity's slow-moving warships sent shockwaves through the galaxy, altering the way other species perceived Earth and its military potential. The battle's outcome forced galactic powers to confront the reality that humanity, once dismissed as insignificant and weak, had outsmarted and outgunned one of their own. The once laughable warship had proven that there was far more to Earth's strength than its technological inferiority. In the wake of the battle, the reactions from the galaxy were mixed. Some alien species, still reeling from the shock, began to question their own assumptions about Earth. For years, they had believed that speed and agility were the key components of warfare, with little regard for a slower, more deliberate approach. The alien commanders who had mocked humanity's warship were now forced to rethink their strategies. The humans had taken a different path, one that emphasized endurance, resilience, and firepower over speed, and it had worked. This shift in thinking began to ripple through the galaxy's military circles, with several advanced species now considering the benefits of humanity's unorthodox approach to combat. The defeat of the alien fleet was not just a military victory for humanity. It was a psychological blow to the galaxy's established order. The balance of power had shifted, and humanity was no longer a fringe player. It had proven that it could stand on equal footing with the galaxy's most powerful forces. This victory reverberated far beyond the battlefield, altering diplomatic relations and power dynamics across the stars. Species that had once treated humanity with contempt now began to seek Earth's cooperation. Even those who had previously exploited Earth's vulnerabilities were now eager to form alliances, recognizing that their previous arrogance had blinded them to humanity's true capabilities. As the dust settled from the battle, humanity took advantage of its newfound reputation. Diplomatic envoys were sent out, and Earth began negotiating trade agreements and alliances with species that had once shut them out. They entered these discussions not as subordinates but as equals, understanding that their recent victory had shifted the perception of their strength. The slow warship had become a symbol of the unpredictable nature of humanity's capabilities, and the galaxy began to realize that Earth could no longer be ignored. However, the victory also had its consequences. While humanity had earned respect, it had also gained the attention of those who feared their newfound power. Some of the more established species, particularly those with a history of dominance, began to question whether humanity's rise would upset the delicate balance of power. Earth's victory had demonstrated that humanity was not only capable of defending itself but could also take the initiative, potentially threatening the status quo. These species, wary of humanity's growing influence, started to form coalitions aimed at curbing Earth's ascent. The situation presented a delicate challenge for humanity. While they had earned respect through their unexpected victory, they knew that this newfound prominence came with significant risks. Earth's leadership had to navigate the shifting political landscape carefully. On one hand, there was the opportunity to foster cooperation, making strategic alliances with species that had once disregarded them. On the other hand, humanity had to remain vigilant against potential threats from those who felt threatened by their rise. Humanity's leaders understood that to secure their place in the galaxy, they had to strike a balance between diplomacy and military preparedness. The slow warship, while a symbol of their strength, was just one aspect of Earth's broader strategy. Humanity knew that they needed to continue developing new technologies, refining their military capabilities, and maintaining a defensive posture to ensure that their position was solidified. The warship was not just a weapon, it was a statement. But the true power lay not in the weapon itself but in the strategic thinking behind it. Earth's rise also began to inspire other species that had long been oppressed or marginalized by the Council's rule. These species, seeing humanity's success, began to rise up against their former oppressors. The victory of the slow warship had sparked a sense of hope among those who had lived under the shadow of galactic powers for centuries. They saw humanity's triumph as proof that even the most seemingly disadvantaged species could fight back and win. This wave of rebellion began to spread, challenging the old order and shifting the galaxy's power dynamics even further. While some species sought to form alliances with humanity, others remained skeptical. The threat of Earth's growing power was a topic of intense debate among the galaxy's leaders. Some saw humanity's resilience and ingenuity as a force for good, while others feared the consequences of having such a powerful species at the forefront of galactic politics. Humanity, for its part, understood that it had to tread carefully, maintaining the trust it had earned while also being prepared for any future challenges that might arise. In the wake of the battle, Earth's leaders knew that they had won more than just a single fight. They had proven that humanity, despite its relatively young and seemingly fragile position in the galaxy, could hold its own against the galaxy's most advanced forces. But the work was far from over. Humanity had to continue to adapt, innovate, and defend its newfound position. The slow warship had been a symbol of what humanity could accomplish. But now it was time for Earth to show the galaxy that their rise to power was not a fluke. It was the beginning of a new era, one in which humanity would play a central role. The galaxy had laughed at humanity's warship, but in the end, it was the galaxy that would need to reckon with humanity's strength. The slow warship was not just a victory on the battlefield, it was a declaration of humanity's place in the universe. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and in doing so, it had underestimated the power of human determination. Now, humanity stood poised to shape the future of the galaxy, not through sheer force, but through strategic thinking, resilience, and the ability to turn any perceived weakness into an advantage. The universe would no longer laugh at humanity's warships, it would respect them.